Very good morning to all. அன்பார்ந்த விவசாய நண்பர்களுக்கு நான் ஆங்கிலத்தில் பேசுறதுனால தவறாக எடுத்துக்க வேண்டாம். நான் அப்புறமா உங்களுக்கு தமிழில் விளக்கம் கொடுக்குறேன். It's very easy to tell about that technology and it is very difficult to face the farmers because we have putting lot of effort on the lot of investment on the research, but the social engineering concepts. I am going to talk about that the issues faced by the farmers and what are the ways and means how best we could able to educate them and bring about the changes. So you see that a bunch of banana and you see that all the fingers are not same. They are all indifferent. As our senior man, our Unni sir has deliberated and discussed about that different categories of innovation. And really we have to see that because if you take a technology in the social system, 100% won't be taken up, 100% won't be reached. There are slow. When you might be seen, you might be witnessed in many of the aspects. So coming here, many of the people here for the past 2 days I am observing, majority of them are technocrats. And you have to understand about the social system of our ecosystem of the farming community. So you see about that the farming community. Earlier you see that the entire village, there will be a village head. The entire people are depending on the farming as a livelihood. They have been involved, including from the family of the elders, from the children. Everybody in the morning before going to the school, they have been in the field and they do that lot of operations supporting on it. And again, that's why in sociology, the human beings are called as a social animals. When you are being joy, they will celebrate that kind of mood is totally different. When they are being sorrow and when they are being in a different situation or the difficult situation, you cannot educate them. So that's why, again, if you take about that Indian subcontinent, the climate is a big change. We are having that the south kind of conference, kind of entity. We have the tropical and the subtropical. The weather at the Amrita and weather at Tamil Nadu agriculture unity, even though the distance is very 30 kilometers, you cannot have it. Even you take this as a 1 unit of land, the soil at that western end and soil at the eastern end is totally different. So you cannot have an uniform technology from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, where my friend yesterday spoken about that treatment of the water. So we have to really working with the people. So we have to really see that the kind of facilities available. It is not a new profession as like oncologists or the kind of cyber security. He is living with the soil and the plant and the ecosystem for several decades. So we have to really understand about the situations. Again, you take about the India, we have that different kind of culture that is called the pluralistic and the multicultural systems. Again, you see that the harvesting festival is being held in Assam in different name, Punjab in different name, Tamil Nadu in different name, but the kind of unity culture is the same. Again, this slide I am depicting here is that how that at the time of independence, how we are. You see that we have the traditional farming system. The farmers well aware about that, what is that salt tolerant crops, like how that cotton or the chilies or the sorghum could be cultivated in the salt affected or the salt waters, and where the water is, where the rainfed farming situation, what kind of crop he has to cultivate, everything is he knows. Only thing is that we have to provide, and there is the excellent book where our Uni has pointed out that Rogers and Shoemaker, who has diffusion of innovation. He came out with a kind of attributes. I will tell you that attributes a little bit later. So the farming was a community approach. It was well recognized 40-50 years back. The brides and the bridegrooms are being offered, the persons are having that who have the lands. Now you see that the entire scenario has been, when the IT boom has come, and it is very difficult to find out my own classmates would not able to get a marriage due to that the kind of he is being involved in the farming activity. The issues are, we have to address the kind of issues. Then we have the location specific crops, the people cultivating the crops, they have been circulating within that region, within that boundary. There will be every alternate village, there will be a village handy for every days. Monday one place, Tuesday one other place, another place. There was the bartering system, exchanging of the commodities happened. Now you see there has been total change. when the green revolution came, yesterday also we got lot of discussion about these activities. We have been, because we have to feed the people. Madras famine and Bengal famine have taught you so much of lesson. We have lost almost around 40 million people. So Dr. M. S. Swaminathan and Mr. C. Subramaniam, they hardly found and they bought lot of draft and that kind of new varieties, replicated it, multiplied it, and now we are all comfortable zone. We don't know about the pain of hunger. So we have been a kind of input intensive farming activities. We have put so much of inputs, and slowly we have introduced that mechanization, and the irrigation also we have been modernized, and the local traders are being there, and you see that where our the Bayer man, our senior, has been a huge amount of task of pest and diseases. We have so much of invasive pests. Now you see that the mealybug, you see that about the white flies, and these were not the serious pests of earlier days. And now we attain self-sufficiency. We are exporting that our commodities to the foreign countries. We really have been needs to change, as my friend Mr. Iranga yesterday speaking about that we needs to win in the market. We are facing a glut of produces. Sometimes you see the tomato price today is 10 rupees. You count another 25 days, it is going to touch 80 rupees. Then in the month of April, May, it touches 150 rupees. So we don't have such a kind of a database, a kind of algorithms and kind of registration systems as like in the sugar cane. The farmers are really registering and they are doing on it active. So we have to think about that, how best we have to, instead of providing a routine kinds of outreach initiatives, we have to really think about that, how he has to be an entrepreneur on initiating. Mr. Vishwanathan, who could able to afford, he could able to technologically able to manage it, because he is a kind of a marginal, he is a medium or a big farmer. What about the small scale farmers? Almost 83% of the farmers are having the land of less than 3 acres of land, and they could able to take 60% of the area, they could able to take only one crop, that too in the Kharif seasons. So that is the kind of situation we are facing on it. So what actually a farmer needs? A farmer needs input, technology, finance and the market, but it is not interconnected. How we are going to connect, that is kind of another issue. Then what he faces now, you see that there are so much of problems encountered by him. I am not going to explain each and everything, but we need intervention on it, especially on the water. So you see that we are being a monsoon dependent country. If the monsoon is not the same, it is very highly erratic. You see that a place in Tirunelveli or the Thoothukudi, they could able to get the entire annual rainfall in 1 or 2 days. So how we could able to cope up? So that kind of very serious situation is there. Then again, agriculture is the concurrent subject, or the water is also a state subject. It is not the central subject. That's why there is always disputes between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra and Gujarat, and many states are there, Punjab and other Haryana. So we have to think of it. And again, a farmer, when I travelled with him from Visakhapatnam to Delhi, he said that you give water, we will do the wonder in the field. That means that assured irrigation for at least for 2 crops, how we could be able to enhance on it. Then inadequate irrigation facilities. The government of Gujarat is putting an excellent initiative on providing a water meter for the irrigation, particularly for the canal irrigation. Nobody in the country has brought out such a kind of change. Even in Tamil Nadu, the exploitation of, I know that exploitation of the water is because of the free electricity to the farming communities. Now earlier we have that lot of wells, now we have plenty of bore wells. That to the depth of 1500 to 2000 meter. You see that how we are exploiting the groundwater. So now you see that I don't want to explain. We are in the world of the technology evaluation. Initially, India have the big resistance to introduction of the computers in 80s. When it comes to the banking institutes and as well as the railway systems, many of the Mazdoor organizations came to road and made the agitations. Now, we are the next to ESA of exporting that software, and we are the dominating. And again, that smart farming, what it needs to do is that we have to bring out that how it has to be intelligent and efficient supporting to the entire fraternity. And our Tamil Nadu Agriculture University in 2003 and 4 we started that the India specific precision farming concept. In Europe or the Western world, you can tell you about the precision farming, it is totally different because thousands of square kilometer the soil is uniform. But in India, every inch of our square kilometer, every inch of our plot is totally different. Where Shanti has shared you about that the central part of India's the demography. So this is a case in San Francisco where you can put all your experimentations. It is controlled condition where you can do that every initiatives, every activities. But in Indian context, tropical and subtropical, varied kind of climate where my friend Dr. Jagdishwaran told you about the soil profile, soil characteristics. We never bothered about that the soil management aspects. And this AA also it is possible. And the big problem in Indian context is that we the researchers, we the outreach activities, we the farmers not in the same equilibrium of understanding of the technologies. The scientists always think about that high impact journals, high impact reading and the many of the kind of things which is not at all fit into the field of context. The extension professionals or the field functionaries always thinks about that what the government is telling, what the freebies I have to dictate, what the freebies I have to distribute, what is the target achievement. These are the two words the people will the field they know on it. But the farmer is confined to his own ecosystems. He is unable to tolerate all the things what you are forcing or putting on it. When we bring these three people into the same equilibrium, then we can think about that 100% of reach. Otherwise, it is impossible. So this is about the systems which is functioning in Indian context. You see that anybody can dictate any kinds of technologies to the field. There is no council as like Veterinary Council of India. You cannot start a single course anywhere in the world or anywhere in the country without that council approval. But in India, so many forums, so many persons can make different kinds of advocacies, different kinds of things leads to that confusion. And you see that the public acceptance system is being called as a white elephant because so much of money is being invested, but it is not reaching to the end user of the farmer. They are being put with a lot of input deliveries, freebies, so much of things. Want to achieve that, doubling the production, tripling the farmer's income 2030, it is impossible. So that's why the building of the capacities is important, understanding the needs, design and the implementation monitoring. I don't want to put much of elaborations. So we the change agent have to really think that the kind of science which we are bringing has to really making the people to innovate for sustainable improvement in the quality of life. So when we achieve this, definitely there is a scope to achieve on it. I will stop with this slide. This slide has to be, again, it is a concept from that the extension fraternity. Those who are all studied that extension, they could, or education technology, they could be able to understand about the concept. And most of the time, we are putting that the reading as a tool, like pamphlet, booklet, many of the reading tools, like even you see about that so much of mails, emails, reading tools. After 2 weeks of time, if you test that the knowledge what you have received or not, what you have pursued out of it, you could be able to recollect only the 10% of the information. Similarly, the hearing of words. Our Unni sir has the blasting of SMS. And you see that there are Kisan call centers, there are voice, mail informations, podcasting, so much of things. All India radios. All India radio was a big success in the Green Revolution, and nobody is hearing that All India radios today's days. And if you podcast it, after 2 weeks after time, you recollect that what is the gain of knowledge, only to 20% the farmer or any person or any student could be able to recollect on. Similarly, seeing in the sense exhibitions or the informations or a kind of posters or a kind of things, only 30%. And seeing a movie that is audio visual, the video films, video modules, only 50%. So all these things are being called as a passive learning. So here there won't be a much of interaction, there won't be a two-way kinds of communication. So that's why it is being called. So what we have to really think about that, it is called the active. So this is a tool where we have to, the farmer has to really has to work with the device, and he has to feel that it is fit to his own context and his own informations. Yesterday our classical dance was performed by the students of Amrita. That steps they will never forget up to their lost of their breath. When you learn the swimming, you never forget up to that you are lost. That is the kind of things of the preparation of your talk or kind of activities. And you take about the Anupam Kher or the cinema director of Hindi films, you ask that when the scene was shoot and where it was shoot, he could able to narrate everything. That means that the kind of imbibe the information. So that is the way we have to really think about that before considering the tools. And this is again supported by that Hermann Ebbinghaus as a psychologist from the German. All the information what we have been discussing for the last 2 days, it will be within the 7 days of time. Once you go, only you see about this hall and many people, Julian is white and he is coming from so much of places. This is the thing only remains in our mind. All the technologies what we have been discussing, it goes out. So what is that? The compact curve is keep on remaining, keep on indicating. That is the why the advertisement agencies and the pop-up messages and every day the morning alerts and every day the time conscious of the 3 people here all are indicating it. So thank you very much. Before taking into the technologies, we have to really consider that the social engineering and the capacities of the farmers, the situation, then we got to take the technologies. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Long live India and France friendship.